we don't know why things happen the way they do. And all you can do is control what you can.
I am Gloria Grace Rand, founder of The Love Method and author of the #1 Amazon bestseller, Live, Love, Engage: How to Stop Doubting Yourself and Start Being Yourself. In this podcast, we share practical advice from a spiritual perspective on how to live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically, so you can create a life and business with more impact, influence, and income. Welcome to Live, Love, Engage.
Namaste. You ever notice how challenges don't always come one at a time? The last 6 weeks handed me 2 hurricanes, not one, 2 hurricanes, the loss of a dear family friend, and my husband's heart attack, all while I'm trying to run a business. Yet, gratefully, I kept my cool. And hubby's recovering, by the way. So if you want to know how, stick around, because I am going to share the exact spiritual tools that helped me stay centered through it all. Tools that you can start using today to transform any crisis into a growth opportunity. But first, for those of you who might be tuning in for the first time to Live, Love, Engage, I am Gloria Grace, and I help female entrepreneurs attract ideal clients by going beyond the traditional search engine optimization strategies to embrace my definition of SEO, spiritually engaging others. So this podcast, live streams, for those of you listening may not know, but I also live stream it on Facebook and LinkedIn. And the title it came up with for this episode today, for the live stream version at least, was Grace Under Pressure. And I have been a little under pressure the last few weeks with a roller coaster, frankly, of emotions. Preparing for hurricanes. I live in Florida. And of course, we had the lovely Helene and Milton come our way. And thankfully, Helene didn't even really affect me at all. And Milton only a little bit. I mean, I had a little slight damage in my balcony. The balcony floor, part of the paint came up, but that was it. But it was also heartbreaking for me because I have friends who live in Asheville and they were without electricity and water for weeks. I think they just got their water back maybe last week or the week before. And so, I was feeling, frustrated because I couldn't do a lot. They did start a GoFundMe page and I contributed to that and I shared it on social media, but it was still, when you've got people out there who have endured things much worse than you feel bad and you want to be able to help. And I was feeling helpless. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Then also right before the hurricanes hit, a dear family friend of mine, he was actually a lovely gentleman. He's a godfather to my son. His wife passed. And so, he was dealing with that. And of course, and he's an elderly guy. He's a lovely gentleman. I just love him dearly. And so I was concerned about how he was managing and doing, dealing with that, preparations and all of that. And then, when I thought things were, maybe going to start settling down, then last week, my husband winds up in the hospital with a complete blockage of his right artery. And so it was interesting spending, a couple days in the hospital and with him. And, when I was very calm during the whole thing, but when I came home at night, I was exhausted. And I thought, yeah, that's where all that stress is coming from. So, in fact, even I had to cancel last week's live stream, in fact, because I was at the hospital waiting for him to get discharged. So, life has just been throwing one curveball after another at me. And it wasn't, I have, I'm going to go into some of the tools that I use to help me keep my cool during this thing. But I will tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. Not every day was easy. I'm human. And there were a couple times, especially when the hurricanes were around, where I was really feeling sad and, just really low. And I know part of it, I think, is the barometric pressure was affecting me, frankly. So what I did was I kept up my routine. I have a morning routine. I call them my non-negotiables. And I encourage you to do something like this as well, because it is so important to have things, have a certain structure that you can follow, because when you do have things that come along in your life, it really helps to give you something sturdy to rely on, and it's so important. So one of the things I do is I go out for a walk every morning. I do a half an hour walk every morning. Then I come back and I sit and I meditate for a while. And depending on the day, I may only have 5 or 10 minutes to meditate. Sometimes I can do it for as long as a half an hour or even an hour. I've been known to do that. Lose track of the time sometimes. And then if I really needed to pick me up, I would also ask my guides to share a light language with me, something. And so I would speak this light language. If you're familiar with my podcast, especially my solo episodes, you may know this is a multi-dimensional energy healing form of communication. And so that would help me as well. And then I journaled. I had been out of the journaling practice for a long time, but I've finally gotten back into it, and I am making sure that I do at least 3 pages. My morning pages, as Julia Cameron, I think, who wrote a book about this stuff, something about being creative. So I do that, and that helps as well. So it's so important to do these type of things, and you need to figure out what works best for you. And the other strategy that I do is, like, I have a reminder. So I've changed. I had the room that is now my bedroom used to be my office, and I, for some reason, couldn't get the whiteboard off the wall when I changed. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and leave the whiteboard on the wall. And so I have written out the love method, which is what I write about in my book. And it's to remind me of the importance of the L in love. Stands for let go and let God. And that's, about letting go of things you can't control. I mean, it's about letting go of a lot of things, like letting go of limiting beliefs, letting go of expectations, but yeah, letting go of what you can't control, and also letting go of that feeling of helplessness, and just letting God in, and really just focusing in on divine order, and that everything is working in divine order. And I'm going to talk about that a little later today, but I'll give you a little sneak preview about that. And then the O is open your heart to receive. Yeah. So it's about opening your heart to receive that inner wisdom and inner guidance that you can get from meditation, from journaling. I love both of those modalities, are so great for have given me ideas, and have given my clients that as well. And so it's so important. The V is valuing your uniqueness. And so just remembering that I am a unique human being. I am really a spiritual being living this human existence, and, to give myself some grace sometime as well. And then to embrace my divinity. And again, they all kind of flow one into another, which is kind of cool. And it's really about that self-love and practicing self-care. And I did a lot of that over these last few weeks. In fact, after my hubby got home from the hospital and he's recovering, and was like, this past weekend, I said, you know what, I need a massage. And so I made an appointment and got a lovely massage, and it was so good. It was just what I needed to be able to, release some of that stress. And so I Oh, at the same time, while I'm trying to do all of this, I'm also, as I said, I'm running my business. So I'm doing the podcast. I am I was working on the launch of a new program that I've got starting at the end of the month. It's called Align to Shine Academy. And I'm so excited about this because it's going to enable me to really dive deep into the love method and help, in particular, female entrepreneurs, but those of you out there who might be having, self-doubt or self-worth issues, and it's really for that, and to help you to learn how to be able to let go, let go, and let God, and to be able to strengthen your intuition. And so, it's coming up actually at the end of the month. So I am going to, I'm really excited to be able to launch this, and it's going to be 4 weeks. So it's only 30 days. And I designed it this way, or decided to launch it this way, to help people get a jump on the new year, to be able to get yourself in gear. It ends before the, sort of winter holidays, whether you're Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, but to give you that foundation to be able to develop the confidence to make offers with ease, to charge what you're worth, because this is something that I used to struggle with back in the day. And once I was given this lovely inspiration to write about this, is really made a huge difference in my life. So it's going to be 4 weekly sessions, and where we're going to dive into the core principles of the love method. You'll also get some energy healing, daily journal prompts, and community support. So if you want to know more, also got some bonuses as well, like a copy of my book. But the program costs $197 with a VIP option. So if you want to join us on the journey, go to aligntoshineacademy.net and you'll get all the details. As I mentioned at the top of this episode today, I have these morning rituals, and I neglected to mention one of them because another one of my morning rituals is to read the daily word from Unity. And today's was perfect because it just flowed right in with the topic of today, and about, having to, try to manage when you've got a lot of stuff going on in your life. How do you be able to keep your cool? And one of the ways is to trust that everything is in divine order. And divine order was the theme for today's daily word. And I used to, a couple of years ago, used to read these all the time on my solo episodes, and I'm thinking I might get back to it, actually, because they're so good. And you can always go to Unity, go to their website. I'll have the link to it in the show notes, and you can sign up to receive these yourself. But let me share today's message with you. It says, "It can be unsettling and uncomfortable to live with uncertainty, especially when I may be eager for a resolution to a situation. I remind myself that divine order is always unfolding, often in ways I cannot know and at a pace I cannot control. And when I feel the urge to rush a resolution, I step back, remind myself of the presence of God in and through all things. I may recall other times when uncertain situations ultimately resolved. Knowing this, I am assured that whatever is happening now has also come to pass. Affirming divine order keeps me patient and trusting in right outcomes. I do what is mine to do without urgency or worry. I believe in the power of God, and I trust in divine order." And that's what we have to do. And I'm going to tell you also, as I'm recording this, those of you who are watching live, of course, you know this, that this is the day after the US presidential election. And a lot of people are happy and a lot of people are unhappy. And those of you who are unhappy, my advice is to also, just trust that everything is in divine order. We don't know why things happen the way they do. And all you can do is control what you can. And what is it? The serenity prayer, have the serenity to accept the things you can, or accept the things you cannot change the things you can, and have the wisdom to know the difference. I think I botched that a little bit, but if you're a Facebook friend of mine, you'll find it. I actually posted it on my Facebook page today. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep this one actually fairly short today, because I just want to just encourage you out there that, life throws us curveballs a lot. And sometimes it feels like you're in the middle of a hurricane. And when you do things like follow the love method, or you meditate, you journal, and all of these things, it really helps to keep you grounded, to keep you centered. And that's all we can do. Just kind of, what is that lovely meme? Keep calm and carry on. So that's my advice for you today. Just keep calm and carry on. And if you're not subscribed to the podcast, make sure that you do that as well. And you can also find us on YouTube at Gloria Grace Rand. That's R-A-N-D. I've noticed sometimes I don't enunciate the D very well. So I'll make that clear today. So until next time, as always, I encourage you to go out and live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically.